Yeah, hi everyone, Lee here. I just wanted to bring you a bit of a brief report of a tropospheric ducting opening that occurred on the night of the 21st and 22nd of June 2023. This opening affected microwave band frequencies, and I was observing signals in the 5 gigahertz region and also 2.4 gigahertz. That being 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi reception, 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi reception, and also receiving the Hilston weather radar on 5.6 gigahertz, which is approximately 240 kilometers to my northwest. So we were a little bit skeptical whether there may be any tropo on that night, and initially it didn't look good, and there was some rain moving across, just very light rain, moving in from the northwest ahead of a low pressure trough. And sometimes low pressure troughs can initiate propagation on microwave frequencies with a cold air undercutting a warm air layer, creating inversion, which I'm guessing is probably what's happened in this occasion. The day before that, we had some very cold conditions here, down to -2 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so there was a little bit of enhancement in this region showing on the Hepburn charts, but only the first level of enhancement. And I thought, oh yeah, it's probably not going to happen. And anyway, before I went to bed, I had a quick check, and I noticed my Wi-Fi monitoring system, it was showing up numerous Wi-Fi's coming from the northwest direction, which it doesn't usually show often, only when there's some good enhancement. And so I thought, oh, okay, well, I might have to stop in here and check out what's going on before going to bed. And anyway, this was about 10:30 p.m, I think, something like that. And so I had a bit of a look at the Wi-Fi signals, and every now and again I was getting a new one coming in, and I think even at that point the furthest distance received was something like 148 to 150 kilometers, possibly further, because some of them haven't been logged, so I don't know exactly where they are at this point. So that was looking good. So I set the antenna rotator up on an automatic rotation, and I got it to scan right around through the west and down to the southwest to about 208 degrees, I think, and there appeared to be no enhancement coming from any directions except the northwest. So I then just narrowed the search field up to about 283 degrees to 243, and just stepping 3 degrees at a time. But it was mostly concentrated between about 294 to 330 degrees. And which is kind of in the direction that the trough was coming down from the northwest. Then I turned on the the rain radar, or the 5 gigahertz down converter that I have from Kuhn Microwave, and I think I initially checked the Yarrawonga radar, which is to the southwest and only about 125 kilometers away, I think, and it was not really showing any enhancement. but I turned the dish around to the northwest to 324 degrees, and I was getting a constant signal from the Hillston radar, and that was quite unusual. And I noticed it was peaking up above signal strength 9, so it was getting up into S9 plus, up to S9 plus 40 dB actually, and so that was pretty exciting. Yeah, so if you're not aware, the way the rain radars work is they spin around. The antenna is actually constantly turning around all the compass headings, and it's changing elevation angle, so it's looking higher up in the sky and then lower down in the sky. So at one point the signal may be 0.5 degree elevation angle, or just off, horizontal, and it's going to turn around 360 degrees and come back, and it's either going to step up or step down to the next preset elevation that it's been set up to scan. And from what I can see at the moment, they're set up where they seem to be resetting back to a higher elevation angle and starting there every 5 minutes from what I can see, and then they appear to be gradually stepping down to a lower elevation angle until they get down to 0.5 degrees, and then I think they reset and go back up to whatever the highest elevation angle is. It could be 20 or 30 degrees. I'm not 100% sure on that at the moment, but maybe somebody from the Bureau of Meteorology watching this may like to comment maybe and advise on the current setup. So yeah, so that's how it works. And so you might see the signal flash up, a bigger signal at one point, and that's where the radar antenna has just come across my beam heading, and so I've got a big main signal from it there, and then other than that it's facing away from me in all other different directions. So you're going to see here that initially here I'm going to put on an observation of the rain radar when there's no real tropo enhancement. Well, there may be a little tiny bit, but this is a number of hours after the main tropo ducting finished, and I still can see the main signal quite strongly actually, but other than that I'm just hearing white noise, or there's just nothing there at all. So yeah, you'll see it peak up and then there'll just be nothing. And also when it's at the higher elevations, I'm also receiving nothing at all. And then after that, that little bit of footage there, I'm going to put on what it was like during the tropospheric ducting enhancement, and you'll see that I was picking up a signal from the radar all the time, even when it was beaming away from me or up at a higher elevation. It didn't really matter. And the main signal when it came across at a good low elevation was quite strong. So and you'll be able to notice the difference between the tropospheric ducting signal and just the more standard tropo signal there that's can be there a lot of the time. And then after that, I'm just going to put up the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi reception chart, and also the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi reception chart, and I'll just kind of go over those a little bit and show you what was received and approximately where they were from. And yeah, so I'll just sort of do a bit of narration through that and just guide you through what was happening. So all right, let's get on to these radar videos. Yeah, so here we are at 21:52 UTC, which is 7:52 AM. We're looking at 425 megahertz on this screen, but the signal coming in to the antenna port has been down converted from 5 gigahertz to 400 megahertz. So at the moment we're listening to 5.625 gigahertz, and I've got 10 dB attenuation in, and the AGC is on slow, and you'll notice that I'm just receiving background noise most of the time until the radar antenna sweeps around in my direction, and then I get a reasonable signal. Now at 2153 UTC, the antenna is going to be getting fairly close to 0 degrees elevation from the radar, that is, and we'll just wait till this sweeps around. So they've probably just swept around there, unless it was a side lobe, but there should be another fairly strong one here in a moment. So there goes one there. Oh, we're still on 2154, okay. So we're still coming down in elevation. The next one should be even stronger again. But in this video, I'm just showing you there's probably still a little bit of tropo assistance here, but in general, I'm just receiving background noise. And there we go, an S9 signal. That was probably around 1 degree elevation. So I still get a pretty strong peak there, but the rest of the time it's just background noise. And you'll see in the following footage, when there was the tropo ducting enhancement, that I'm receiving a signal all the time, even when the antenna's not facing towards me. So yeah, this is a relatively normal situation, although it's probably a bit stronger than usual still. But not as strong as what it was in the previous hours of the early morning. So that was a S9 plus 20 there, I think, which is quite strong. The distance this signal is travelling is 240 kilometres, which is not too bad for 5 gigahertz, although the transmitter is transmitting a lot of power. Probably something like 250 kilowatts or something like that. So it's a pretty high-powered transmitter, that's for sure. So yeah, I just thought I'd include this here so you could see and compare to the next bit of footage, which is coming up shortly, just to see what the difference is, and then you can understand a bit more about how good the tropo was there. So you can see as this elevation is now going up, I'm just getting nothing at all, not even any peaks. So now we'll move on to the tropo enhanced signal. And sorry, the audio's quite low here on this one. If you turn it up, you might be able to hear the audio in the background, but my partner was asleep in the next room and I couldn't really turn the audio up much for recording purposes. Also in the background here you can hear those noises, the ding ding noise. There it goes there. That's actually a new Wi-Fi network being received. So every time you hear that, I'm getting new Wi-Fi signals, and you could hear it just going off there. But anyway, here, getting back to the radar, you can see I'm now receiving a signal constantly and with varying signal strength as the radar is turning and changing elevation. The time there is 14:44 UTC, and I believe that's 1:44 AM, or really early in the morning. Possibly 12:44 AM. Anyway, it's really early in the morning. And you're seeing here the constant signal from the radar compared to the first lot of footage. So we're on 14:45. The radar should be pretty close to 0 elevation there, and there you just see a 5 and 9 plus 40 dB or slightly over plus 40 signal there. So I think from there on, the elevation should start rising, but we still keep just seeing the constant signals anyway. It didn't really make any difference. So with that immense power and things, we're just receiving a tropo ducted signal. There goes another 5/9 plus 40. So yeah, this is pretty awesome to see this, because it doesn't usually happen. It's pretty rare, but it's a good beacon, and you can see the different tones and things happening from the radar there too. So this should change in a moment to the Wi-Fi screens. Yeah, so here we are onto the the Wi-Fi reception screens from MT Scan, and I've got 2.4 listed here first, and you can see I've got it in distance order, and but this is just distance that that's been logged and recorded on Wiggle Wi-Fi, which is where we get the information from. So the maximum signal is 145 kilometres, 141, 135, 134, 121, and then a couple in the 70s there. And they are at in the Griffith area, and also the Narrandera area. Some of them are at Coleambally and Darlington Point areas there. But if you look further down the screen, there's a whole heap of them there. Basically, there's some ZTE cells from Zetify. Then anyway, with this one here is just another extension of the 2.4 signals, and yeah, there's a whole heap of them there, basically, but these ones don't have any distance, any location recorded on them. They haven't been recorded in Wiggle Wi-Fi, so I can't get the distance on them there. So then the next screen after that is going to be the 5 gigahertz screen, and you'll see that also with 5 gigahertz, the maximum distance was 145 kilometres, which is the known distance, and that was actually to like probably a internal Wi-Fi at Griffith. There's a Grain Link, there's a Carrowbury North, all sorts of other ones there, 136 similar locations to the 2.4 gigahertz. So around Griffith, Leeton and Narrandera. So unfortunately there's numerous listings there that don't have any GPS coordinates logged for them on Wiggle Wi-Fi, and therefore we don't have the I can't really get the distance unless it's got a name in the SSID or something there. That's the only way I sort of get an idea of how far away it was. Then the next screen of Wi-Fi signals is just still a continuation there of 5 gigahertz, but just with no locations. So there's quite a few. Usually on a standard night, we might have only 5 or 6 signals, if that. And here we've had about 40. So I hope you can see that data okay. You may need to view that on a big screen, and you'll be able to actually see all the SSIDs and names and other details on those screens there. So yeah, so there you go. So that'll about wrap the video up, and I just wanted to highlight that Tropo opening into the microwaves, because it was a very interesting one there. And we'll look out for something even better. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.